Welcome to the TEK2day podcast powered by CEO Radio. It's your host, John Maeda, coming to you from the thick of allergy season. And we've written a number of articles since we last came to you on the podcast. So I'll break it into two separate podcasts. One is around capital markets as it relates to fiscal policy, monetary policy. We've got articles out there around federal unemployment benefits. I won't go through our position on that again, but you may have seen in the news a couple of days ago that Biden came out and said, we don't have an issue. We don't see any problem whereby workers are choosing to stay home and collect federal benefits. But just in case, we're going to implement a policy whereby we're going to check and make sure that people are accepting jobs as opposed to accepting checks from the federal government. So, contradicted himself in the same sentence. Clearly, the Biden administration knows they're causing disruption in the marketplace by way of mailing checks to individuals. So that admission was not surprising. There's really no way around it. And we have another sort of policy-related article coming out this morning that will be around price controls and the fact that we've had these gas lines in certain parts of the country, lines at gas stations, as a result of the Colonial Pipeline being shut down and as a result of local politicians exercising price controls to prevent gas stations from rising prices to a level that the market would bear. And as a result, you have gas lines. So it's looking more and more like the 1970s with Biden, his administration in the White House, whereby we have out of control inflation, out of control spending, out of control public debt, and an unwillingness to tame inflation. Of course, the correct way to do it would be to allow interest rates to float, never mind taper. You allow interest rates to float. That would corral inflation quickly. That would put an end to the debt bubble, not just the public debt bubble, but the corporate debt bubble. The sooner we resolve the problem, the better, even though there would be some pain in the short term. But I hadn't considered the issue of price controls until I saw this issue with Colonial. This administration is unwilling to tame inflation, and as we've said before, as we've written before, we don't think they're going to try it ahead of the midterms. So if we're not going to tame inflation, how about we control prices? This is the Biden administration now. This is them thinking or not thinking. So what would happen in that scenario? Well, the market would be trying to push prices higher. Government would try to, or not would try, they would effectuate price controls. And then if consumers believe prices are going higher and or they're concerned with scarcity and they want to hoard, as we saw during COVID with toilet paper and many other items, without that natural pricing mechanism, you're now going to potentially have lines at grocery stores, pharmacies, and things of this nature, as we did at gas stations. If, of course, we allowed prices to rise to equilibrium, certain consumers would say, yeah, it's not worth it. I can live without that item. And it would alleviate the human bottleneck that we're likely to see at grocery stores and other establishments. So that comes out today, and more to come. There's never a dull moment with the Biden administration. That's all for now. See you next time.